Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 3D Print Basics, which is kind of like our Lychee Basics, but this is more generalized because this could apply to whatever slicer you're working in. Can't name them specifically, or try not to anyway. I break that rule all the time. Anyway, the point of this episode is really to teach you orientation. And this is a question I get asked a lot. It seems orientation is a common question because people are always asking what the best way to print something to make it print as fast as possible. And I get puzzled by that question because, well, you really shouldn't be concerned about speed, my friends. You should be concerned more with quality. The problem is that everyone is so obsessed with getting their prints done so fast, they're not really concerned with what the quality effect is going to be on speeding up their print process. My suggestion, people, slow it down. The process of getting a good print does not mean doing it faster, which means sometimes your orientation, the best one, may not be the one that's going to be the fastest way to print the part. I'm going to show you what I mean, and we'll check out a couple different parts to show you some examples. Come on, let's check it out. All right, here we are. As you can see, I got parts all over the place, so I'm going to get rid of a bunch of these so I can kind of talk about one at a time. Oh, let me repair that leg first real quick. My bad. And okay. So, how about something like a leg? So, when we talk about orientation, it means that we're trying to make the best orientation possible to create the least amount of violence, the least amount of shelving, and the least amount of overhangs to the plate. The overhangs to the plate would be like this. Now, if I decided I wanted to print this leg as fast as possible, I would print it like that. Because this would take a heck of a lot less time to print than this. However, you're going to have to place supports all over the bottom of this leg here on this entire yellow zone in order to really adequately support it. Whereas if you support it like this, your supports are really going to be focused mostly on the bottom, where you're not going to be affected too much by overall quality because you don't care about the quality changes down here. It's part of the key and the connecting point. That doesn't matter too much. It's not going to bother you. Well, at least it doesn't bother me. So this would be the orientation you'd use for something like a leg. Alternatively, you could probably orient it like this with the foot down too. The reason I do it the other way is because I'm creating a funnel in the reverse direction. So I'm putting the wider part down at the bottom and I'm funneling up towards the thinner part as we go up and then the toe. Unfortunately, her toe is not pointing straight up, so this does give you a little bit of an angle here that's kind of parallel to the plate, but at the same time, not as bad as doing this. Make sense? All right, let's move on, class. How about an arm? Something with a mace or something, right? This is always challenging for folks because they're always like, well, I don't know. What's the best way to do it? Do I do it so the weapon's facing this way? I want to save it time, so I'd rather do it like this. Ugh, this hurts me. Don't support it like that. The best way to support this would be at an angle like this. And this gives you a short distance from the build to the top, but it also gives you a nice about 50 to 60 degree angle. I mean, you could increase that a little bit. As long as this part here is facing down, so you can use this for supporting, and the bottom of the weapon is facing the plate, not the other way around, you should be in good shape with something like this. Alternatively, you could also support it like this if you wanted it to print slower, and you could use this ball here down at the bottom to begin the print. But I don't advise trying to do it like this, as there's just I mean, it's an odd shape. I suppose you could do it that way, but I don't recommend it. Either like this or like that. Now let's take a look at some other parts. Hair, for example, is always one that throws people. This is a ponytail that comes out of the back of her helmet. So for this one, I think a lot of folks usually again try to speed up the print process. They'll like lay it flat, or they'll lay it so that way the key is facing further down like that, and then okay, not a bad orientation. My recommendation for this one was something that was going to help save you a lot of trouble with your islands. So doing it upside down like this, then tilting it forward like that, and extending the pieces of hair up away from the build plate itself, kind of like a flame rising up. That way, all these little tips are your islands, but they're going to be really light. The rest of this is going to be supported by itself as it builds upwards this way. This is a pretty good orientation for this piece. Alternatively, you could also orient it this way if you really wanted to, but just keep in mind you should put it at an angle so that way at least it's going kind of up at like at least maybe a 30 to 45-degree angle here, just to make sure you're not just going straight parallel to the build plate. Something like a head, pretty simple, especially if they're round. These, for example, like the helmet head, I would actually support upside down, like this. I mean, I guess you could technically, since there's not really a whole lot going on, like hair, you could technically support it this way and use the neck piece as a means of supporting. That is also an option. The alternate helmet would pretty much be the same. I won't talk about that. Ah, a head with the hair attached. And as you saw, we have, we have the ponytail. So only right that we have the actual head with the full head of hair. Now, the best orientation for something like this is actually going to be angled a little bit using the bottom of her face, kind of like this. And then we're going to tilt it a little bit like this. And then a little bit further back here to prevent too many supports from having to be directly interfacing with her face. So we're going to be putting most of our supports down here, and around this area in the neck and over here. But what we did was we removed these four islands here, this one as well, which are going to be these little hair strands. And now we only have these three islands over on this side that are going to be created by the hair strands. It also gives you this nice flat pocket here to use for supports as well. And since this is a part that's going to make contact with the body of the model, not going to matter too much if you get some support damage in there anyway and over support that zone. So take advantage of spots like that when you see key cutting like this. Very important to pay attention to stuff like that one. As far as alternate orientations for this part, maybe on its back, like that, so that way the face gets absolutely no damage or no interface whatsoever with supporting. Then you just have the trouble of having to deal with all the texture of the hair in the back. Sometimes I'll go this route though for heads if I really want to preserve the facial detail. Sometimes the face is really the most important part. So sometimes this is worth it if you want to try and preserve all the facial detail you can. Because the other way, it was leaning a little bit, and you would probably get a support or two into the face itself. In fact, you'd want to kind of do it like this, almost so the face is literally facing up. See the nose pointing up. There you go. Next part would be the arm with the shield. There's lots of parts like this out there. I mean, lots of characters have shields and things like this, so this is kind of important. Now, I know a lot of folks are probably thinking, oh, well, it's supported like a base, right? Because, it's like a big chunky, and it is, yeah, you would kind of support it like a base, but you've also got to think of this thing, the arm that's attached to it, because they chose not to separate the arm from this particular piece. You have the arm is attached to this particular shield piece. So the real good orientation that you really want to go with here is going to be kind of like you see I have here. Keys facing down, shield is facing down, but it is at an angle, so it is building up at a gradual angle. And even though a large portion of it is going to be building up at the bottom here in this corner, you're still going to have a nice gradual build here and up on this side. And I think you get a decent print out of that. Now, alternatively, you could technically put a little bit more to its side like this, and then you'd wind up having to support areas here. But you don't necessarily have to do it that way. Like I said, there's always multiple ways to support particular types of parts. So in this particular case, again, I would recommend doing the kind of like the base support where you have it more tuned towards the bottom, more like this, rather than tilted further this way. And definitely don't let the contents of the shield face go downwards because you're just going to ruin the shield. You can do it in the opposite direction, kind of like this, where you have the shield starting it and almost the arm facing up. That is also an option. That's not using the arm as part of the support structure, which is kind of, I mean, you could do it, but honestly, I like using the arm as part of the support structure. That's why I like facing it down like this, not so far down. Because this arm kind of acts like a giant support and it gets connected to this shield. So it does, I think, in a lot of senses, will help you. So keep that in mind. We have the other arm, which I believe is just a pretty standard arm. That one I would just face straight up like this, a little bit of an angle. Again, the one without the hand, a little bit of an issue because it's bent, but really not too complicated. You don't do this. Don't give yourself a hard angle. Um, you kind of want to do it so it's almost like this, like a boomerang, but leaning in one direction, like leaning either this way or this way. And then the one with the sword, which again is similar to the mace, but I actually think this one's easier, in my opinion. And my recommendations would be to do it like this, using this part of the back side of the sword to put supports on. Alternatively, you could also do it like this, where you're using the back of the hand and one side of the blade to support it. And also, alternatively, you could support it like that, using the base of the sword and the fist to build it up from. And yeah, that pretty much covers a lot of different basic types of parts. Now, again, I'm not claiming that there's only one way to orient a part or that every single part has to be oriented a certain way or that my way is the highway sort of thing. I'm definitely not going to be the first person to tell you that one. I don't care how you orient your parts, to be honest. This is how I like to orient them. And a lot of people ask me the question of, well, what's the best way to orient them to get the best result for printing? This is kind of the examples I'm giving you here is exactly what I would use. So, for those of you asking those questions, there's your answers. For those of you that are new to printing and just wanted to get a better understanding of what orientation even means, this is probably the best example you're going to find because I've looked for episodes and other information on this myself, and there's not a whole lot of information on it. So, I wish you all the best of luck in printing. Happy printing, and hope everybody's having a wonderful 2025. We're here in April now, starting the almost the middle of the year. We're getting into springtime now, so we're going to be at summer soon. Got lots of cool stuff planned for the rest of the year as far as new prints and work that are coming out. We've got lots of cons and other things that we're going to be attending, including MiraiCon here in Florida. So, anyway, keep an eye out for events. Keep an eye on our channel. Keep an eye out for our content. I'll be trying to work on more consistent episodes. And we'll see you all again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.